The deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history occurred in Las Vegas last night.
The death toll has risen to 58 and over 500 are currently injured.
Good evening and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Sarah Kate Calliguire.
And I'm Terrence Johnson.
Las Vegas police now say at least 58 people were killed at a shooting last night at a concert on the Las Vegas Strip, and at least 500 people have been injured.
The incident is now the deadliest mass shooting incident in modern U.S. history, and authorities have identified the shooter. NewsWatch reporter Jules Marcantonio has the latest.
The Clark County Fire Department is estimating the injuries to be well over 400 and the deaths associated with this event to be over 50.
Las Vegas Sheriff Joe Lombardo delivering tragic news this morning. And the mass shooting that took place last night at a concert on the Las Vegas Strip is now the deadliest in modern U.S. history. Lombardo identified the shooter as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, described as a local resident. He cautioned, however, they are just beginning.
I think it's very important for you to understand that this investigation is going to be long and contracted before we get to the bottom of everything associated with it.
Police will work to identify a motive. Why shots were fired from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and into a crowd of about 30,000 people gathered for a Sunday night concert. Concert goers described a scene of chaos and confusion.
Everyone said hit the floor, so everyone was just like literally laying on top of each other trying to get out of the way, and the shots just kept coming.
Jason Aldean, the country star who was performing at the time, has posted a message on Instagram saying he and his crew are safe, encouraging prayers for Las Vegas, and saying tonight has been beyond horrific. I still don't know what to say. Jules Marcantonio, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Investigators and police are currently gathering as much information as they can about the Las Vegas shooter. The 64-year-old retired accountant Stephen Paddock killed at least 58 people and injured about 500. He was from Mesquite, a retiree community about 80 miles away from Las Vegas. His brother Eric said that he never showed any violent tendencies, but his father was a bank robber who was wanted by the FBI for 8 years. When Paddock's home in Mesquite was searched by police, weapons and ammunition were found and 10 more guns were found in his Mandalay Bay hotel room. As of right now, there is no evidence of ties to terrorist or hate groups, and no military records were found.
Las Vegas Police Sheriff Joseph Lombardo spoke earlier in the press conference shortly after the shooting, saying Paddock used a hammer-like device to break the window and brought in his own weapons.
We do know that he brought the weapons in on his own. In an original briefing, we believe that he was in partnership or companionship of a female, and we have determined the female is out of the country. So he brought these weapons in on his own. As far as method, I don't have the ability to give you an accurate picture.
Lombardo also added that investigators have collected all items from Paddock's hotel room and are still questioning the motive of this mass shooting. Students at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, are coping with yesterday's mass shooting. NewsWatch station manager Abby McIntosh spoke with the professor at the school to discuss the environment on campus and around the city.
It's very grim. It's somber. I mean, we can actually see Mandalay Bay from our house here, the edge of it. A lot of our students work on the Strip, so we've been trying to make sure people are accounted for. And personally, I don't know anyone who was there, but I have friends of friends who are, reporting they know people who passed away. So a lot of my colleagues have been, telling students, if you need to stay home, you do what you need to do. There are counselors on campus, readily available to help people process, because it's just so shocking. But I haven't gone yet myself. I'm about to. Students are asking, are we having rehearsal? And I say, if you want to come, please do. I personally will feel encouraged by seeing their faces. But I totally understand, if they just need to stay home and take care of themselves. Yes, I've seen that it's, at least parts of the Strip are open. I think that particular area, obviously, is still an active crime scene. But no, I've seen news reports myself of, cars driving down Las Vegas Boulevard. So, somehow, people just try to go on with their lives. So that's all we can do. It's just sad. Las Vegas is supposed to be a place where people come to have fun, to let loose and celebrate life. And, as a musician myself, it makes me so sad that people were there at a concert, just doing that. And for them, it didn't turn out as they could ever imagine, what a horrifying thing. So.
The student body president of UNLV will be hosting a candlelight vigil tonight on campus to remember the victims.
Stephen Paddock's brother Eric Paddock has spoken out to the media and says his family cannot understand what happened. He says he has no idea why his brother owned the guns he did and had no military background.
There's not even anything I can say. I mean, how do you, my brother did this. This is like it was done, like he shot us. If he'd have killed my kids, I couldn't be more dumbfounded. It doesn't, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Paddock also added that his brother had no religious or political affiliations that the family was aware of. President Trump issued a solemn address Monday on the Las Vegas shooting massacre. Trump called for unity and gave his condolences to the victims and families.
He brutally murdered more than 50 people and wounded hundreds more. It was an act of pure evil. Our unity cannot be shattered by evil. Our bonds cannot be broken by violence. And though we feel such great anger at the senseless murder of our fellow citizens, it is our love that defines us today and always will, forever.
Trump will visit Nevada early Wednesday morning to meet with the governor, Las Vegas mayor, and local sheriff. He says he may stay longer on Wednesday.
Despite the tough loss for Ole Miss football this past Saturday, head coach Matt Luke spoke to the media today about what the team needs to do to get back on the track for this weekend's game.
I think the biggest thing that getting across the team is what we are right now is we're 2-2, and I think we got to make sure that they got to keep their confidence. I think that was the biggest thing. I hate that we got to go back, simplify. We got to go back to work. And that's the only way to get the bad taste out of your mouth is get back on the practice field and go to work. And so I think, but the good thing is that college football, man, is so week to week. It is week to week. You got a chance every week to go compete and get better. And, that's going to start this Saturday at Auburn.
The Land Shark may soon make its official debut as the university mascot. Over the 4-day voting period, more than 4,000 students voted, and 80% of those students were in favor of the change. The Associated Student Body will provide a formal document to the university before October 14th. However, this vote will serve as an advisory note to the chancellor and university officials and will not directly enforce a change.
The first half of the semester has come and gone, and reporter Brianna Bynum tells us how a certain group of students have adjusted to Ole Miss. Brianna?
Midterms are upon us, and new students to the campus, like freshmen and transfers, are dealing with this for the first time. But thanks to a special class, they have a little help.
Adjusting to change takes time, and that stands true for Noah Laddick, who is in his first year here at Ole Miss.
I think the biggest struggle is really setting up a routine and going from the day to day and having a consistent study plan, because with all the events around you, it's so easy just to get lost and not study.
EDHE is a course that Associate Director Dewey Knight says was designed with students like Noah in mind as a way to help with their transition to the university.
There's this connectiveness where they understand their relationship and become engaged and a part of the university community.
I think for the professors that care about it, it's a wonderful experience, but for many professors, it seems like it's an easy class just to blow off and not focus on. So it really is all up to the professor and the way they teach it, I believe.
The course not only caters to freshmen, but to transfers as well who are new to the campus.
We saw that just as freshmen have a transition time and have to get acclimated to the university and learn how to do business with the university and succeed, transfer students really have the same transition issues.
The classrooms are way bigger. I'm used to probably doing my homework the day after or the day before, but with being at Ole Miss, you can't do that. You have to actually study what you're going to be learning in class.
Knight says the course plays a large role in whether or not students return after their first year.
This course contributes very much to the retention and persistence of our students in that first year here, whether it be as a freshman or as a transfer student. You build a relationship with your instructor that lasts far beyond the first semester.
Best of luck to all the new students on campus this year. Sarah, Kate, Terrence, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brianna. Coming up, Puerto Ricans are still in need of aid following Hurricane Maria's destruction.
And with that, legendary rock artist Tom Petty has passed away. We'll have the latest after the break, but first, Annabeth Polakovich has your first look at the current conditions.
Good evening, Oxford. This week we're going to be seeing cooler nighttime temperatures, overall sunny skies, and in general a beautiful week ahead. Looking at the current radar, we'll see to the south that there are some clouds in Louisiana, but later on Storm Watch, I'll let you know whether or not that will be a threat to our area.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Music legend Tom Petty has passed away at the age of 66. Frontman of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers suffered a full cardiac arrest and was found unconscious and not breathing in his Malibu home last night. He was then taken to UCLA Santa Monica Hospital and put on life support. Petty and the Heartbreakers rose to fame in the 1970s with several chart-topping hits, and Petty then went on to a successful solo career. Along with his band in 2002, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. O.J. Simpson is now a free man. The 70-year-old former NFL star walked out of a Nevada prison early Sunday morning, shortly after midnight local time. A Nevada prison official tells CNN he was picked up by a friend and seemed upbeat, happy to get on with his life. Simpson served 9 years for armed robbery and kidnapping in connection with the 2007 botched hotel raid on memorabilia dealers. He was initially facing 33 years behind bars in July. A parole board unanimously voted to grant his release.
Nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, many of the 3.4 million people who live there are still in desperate need for help. The governor says aid is slowly moving in and being distributed, but more is needed. NewsWatch reporter Courtney Cam has more.
food and water is getting there. It is increasing. The logistics and the visibilities are increasing as well.
At a press briefing Sunday, Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rosselló shared some good news, stating supplies are starting to reach their destination, but they are still desperate for more aid and supplies in order to meet the island's critical humanitarian needs following the disaster left by Hurricane Maria.
As I've stated before, we recognize we still need to do much more.
He said more than 200 containers filled with food and supplies from FEMA arrived Saturday, and they're being distributed across Puerto Rico. More than 30% of the people now have phone service, and about 50 hospitals are running in some capacity. In a series of tweets, President Trump thanked FEMA and the U.S. military for their efforts, and also praised the governor of Puerto Rico and those working with the first responders. Trump is expected to see the devastation in Puerto Rico firsthand on Tuesday. His visit, according to the governor, will demonstrate that there is interest to help the people of Puerto Rico move past this catastrophe.
First of all, the president will come with a lot of the resources that will maintain, that will address the logistics as well as the security. Number one. Number two, why is it important? I think it's important that the chief executive of the United States sees firsthand what's going on in Puerto Rico.
Courtney Cam, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
President Trump's visit to Puerto Rico is still on for tomorrow. He will head there to oversee recovery efforts where millions are still without power or a potable water source.
Tomorrow morning early, I'll be leaving for Puerto Rico with the First Lady. We are going to be seeing all of the first responders, the military, FEMA, and frankly, most importantly, we're going to be seeing the people of Puerto Rico. We've been it's been amazing what's been done in a very short period of time on Puerto Rico. There's never been a piece of land that we've known that was so devastated. The bridges are down. The telecommunications was non-existent, and it's in very, very bad shape.
Despite Trump's words with the San Juan mayor, Trump will continue with his visit. This will be the president's first visit to the island since Hurricane Maria hit 2 weeks ago. Puerto Rico governor reported this morning that the island has had some progress in getting fuel supplies, and about 5.4% of citizens have had power restored. The president and the first lady are expected to visit with first responders, the U.S. military, and members of FEMA. The president will then head straight to Las Vegas early Wednesday morning.
The morning watch of class was paired with quite a breeze.
Has fall weather officially made its way to Oxford? Anna Best-Polakovic will let you know next on Storm Watch.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Good evening, Oxford. Right now we have a comfortable current temperature of 73 degrees. It's sunny and light winds with a small chance of rain, only at 15%. Now looking for the current radar, you can see that there are not a lot of clouds and they're not going to really be moving in our area, so there's not a large chance of rain that we have right now. If we're looking at the current temperatures in the area, it's 73 in Oxford, 76 in South Haven, 74 in Holly Springs, 72 in Corinth, and 76 in Tupelo. Looking to tomorrow's temperatures, we'll see that it'll be a little warmer, 84 in Oxford, 84 in South Haven, 83 in both in Holly Springs, 86 in Tupelo, and 85 in Corinth. And for tonight's forecast, it's going to be pretty cool, partly cloudy with light winds and a 20% chance of rain. Looking towards tomorrow's forecast, we can see that it is 84 degrees with clear skies, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and only a 20% chance of rain. Now into the rest of the week, we have very nice, beautiful weather. It's going to be sunny for the rest of the week with a high of 84 on both Wednesday and Thursday, a high of 86 on Friday, and it'll be a high of 88 on Saturday.
Thanks, Annabeth. So it's finally October. It's a little bit cooler today, but what can we expect for the rest of the week?
It's going to be overall sunny, small chance of rain. Last week was really, really hot, so this week it'll be warm but not as brutal. But overall, really good weather. So those that'll be staying back this weekend and not going to Auburn, it'll be a great weekend.
That'll be a lot better than last. Thanks, Annabeth. Coming up next, see which Ole Miss volleyball player is SEC Player of the Week.
Our sports reporter, Nick Duvenet, will have that and more after the break.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it. It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome to Sports Watch. I'm Nick Donovan. This might not have been the most successful weekend for Ole Miss sports, but we aren't just a football school. The Ole Miss volleyball team has been on a tear in recent play. Leading the way for the Rebels is sophomore Nia Warnell. After averaging 2 blocks per set and hitting 400 last weekend, the middle blocker was named SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week. Warnell currently ranks 8th in the SEC in hitting percentage and has helped the Rebels rank 2nd in opponent percentage. The Rebs hit the road this weekend for matches at Arkansas Friday at 7 and Missouri on Sunday at noon. All right, Ole Miss football, where do I begin? The beatdown in Tuscaloosa was so bad that Ole Miss Sports didn't even upload the highlights. However, CNN graciously posted the highlights, so without further ado, let's roll the clip for one of the most lopsided losses in Ole Miss history. Jalen Hurts, Alabama quarterback, he's breathing hard. I promise he's going to have an okay day. He hands the ball off to Bo Scarborough, and already Ole Miss is losing 7-0. But hey, Ole Miss-Bama games are always close, right? We always fight. Wrong. Shea Patterson picked off. Lodge gives up on the play. Levi Wallace picks it off, and he's got reservations for 6. He takes it back to the house. Alabama's already up 14-0. But that Landshark defense, right? And no, they didn't show up. Josh Jacobs, 18-yard touchdown, and it's already 21-0. We scored a field goal. Guys, we scored a field goal. Now we've got some momentum. Jalen Hurts says, nah, never mind. Josh Jacobs scores again. It's 28-3. We're still in the first half. Jalen Hurts runs this one straight up the middle. It takes 4 players to tackle him, but he's already in the end zone. It's 35-3 at half. This is the only highlight of the second half I need to show you. Shea Patterson was swarmed all game by Bama's defense and sacked. I went ahead and skipped the next 4 touchdowns to save our misery. Nick Saban, the 4-time national champion, just had the highest winning margin of all time, and yet still no smile. I swear he's a robot that is all business. Our own Sports Watch reporter Tori Rees has more from the blowout loss in Tuscaloosa.
I'm here inside Bryant-Denny Stadium where Ole Miss fell to number 1 Alabama 66-3. They had over 640 yards offensively, whereas Ole Miss, their biggest storyline was the lack of offense they had. They only had 88 yards rushing on the ground and only 243 total yards. Moving forward, they face another SEC opponent, another ranked team in Auburn at an 11 o'clock game. So what Matt Luke said is they have to shake this one off. They have to just go back to the drawing board, pick their heads up, and go and prepare for the next game. Coming live from Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tori Rees, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Throwing it over to the NFL, the Bears have concluded that Mike Glennon is garbage. Chicago announced that rookie Mitchell Trubisky will start next Monday's game against Minnesota. The QB change comes after Mike Glennon turned the ball over 3 times in the first half in a blowout loss to the Packers. Glennon is the only Bears quarterback in the last 40 years to have 3 turnovers and a half twice within the first 4 games of the season. You never want to have that record. Chicago traded up for the number 2 overall pick, where they drafted the former UNC Tar Heel in Trubisky. Trubisky will now be the 3rd starting rookie QB in the NFL, along with Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Kaiser. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. One Tupelo native's house is soon to be auctioned off.
We'll let you know when we make that bid after this break.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Elvis Presley's childhood home will be soon auctioned off. Located 45 minutes away from Oxford and Tupelo, Presley's land and home will be auctioned off on November 11th.
In addition to the home and the 16.5-acre land, Presley's 1957 pink Cadillac and jewel-encrusted jumpsuit will also be auctioned. The property will be available for the public to view October 18th through the 21st.
I want to get my hands on that. That's pretty cool.
I know. I'm kind of excited about it being open to the public.
Exactly. So Annabeth, for weather this week, it's going to get a little bit warmer, right?
Oh, absolutely. And for those that aren't going to Auburn to see the football game, you could probably have a pool day this Saturday. So
awesome.
Great weather ahead.
Thank you. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Be sure to catch us here again on air at 5 and on newswatcholemiss.com. I'm Sarah Kate Caliguire.
And I'm Terrence Johnson. Thank you and good night.